Hello and blessings, my beautiful souls. My name is Avalon Cameron and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to do a May favorites video for you. May was my birthday month. I broke my ankle and tore my ligament in May. I also had a car accident in May. It was my son's birthday in May. I went on an ayahuasca ceremonial workshop during May. So it was a massive month for me. And I've been recovering and resting since May. So this was a big month for me and I achieved a lot during that time. I was hit by a lot during that time as well. So I wanted to go over some of the things that sort of helped and supported me during that time. So let's get stuck into it. Being that I went through some troubling times in the month of May, I have really connected with the symbolism that is the Hamsa. And I have been working with this particular image as well as personal symbols. I have headscarves that has Hamsa prints on them. I have little charms and trinkets and things like that. But I've really been working on this particular with this particular symbolism for protection. The Hamsa is actually really beautifully intricate. It holds quite a powerful and potent symbolism across cultures. And if you have never read up on it, I encourage you to do so. In my country, this is called the Hand of Fatima. We in Brazil are very influenced by religion over there, and I first came across this symbol in the guise of the Hand of Fatima. A Mão de Fatima. That is what it's called. So the Hamsa, my first thing to show you as a favorite. This one was very necessary, let me tell you. And I'm grateful that I connected with it, or that it came to me during that time. Okay, so since May was my birthday month, I received this beautiful perfume as a gift. This is Van Cleef and Arpels, and this is an orchid vanilla. This has become my absolute favorite fragrance ever in a perfume. I don't know how it happened. My beautiful dad was with me when I purchased this. This was actually a gift from him to me at the time, but I had gone in intending on purchasing this for myself anyway. This was the day that I actually broke my ankle. So I broke my ankle, but I smelled amazing when I did it. It is a vanilla, warm, deep, rich aroma, and it lasts on the skin so much. It permeates everything. If I spray this on myself, it gets in my hair, in my clothes, and on my pillowcase, and everything just smells so decadent and so beautiful, like a deep caramel, chocolatey, vanilla kind of richness to it. It's a perfect scent for this deep winter season that we are in. So absolute favorite. I will purchase this again. Look at the beautiful packaging. There's something so gorgeous about the packaging. Points for packaging. Since we are talking perfume, I feel like I want to talk a little bit about some of the beauty products that I've been working with. So this is Face Hero. This is what it looks like. It is you could call it an elixir. It's a facial oil. And this is Kiehl's lip balm. So this sits beside my bed. This goes on my face morning and afternoon. And in winter, I like to really look after my skin. I really like to care for myself, and I like to go as natural as I possibly can. I wouldn't say that this is too natural, but they did not have my Kiehl's facial oil. They did have the Kiehl's lip balm. And these two are just, they're happy, cozy favorites that I use every single day. This one here I use 20 times a day. This one here I definitely use it twice a day. It's beautiful, it's nourishing, it brings comfort, it looks after the skin, and that's all I'm after. I'm spending a lot more time indoors, a lot more time by the fire. When I have to go out, it's really cold, so I like to have that, nice protective barrier on my face. I'm big into skincare. And I always have something on my lips, always, always. If I'm not wearing lipstick, I've still got something, a balm of some sort on my lips. So they're my two favorites. All right, from oils and elixirs and facial deliciousness and body deliciousness, I bring you these two here. After I had my car accident, well, after I broke my ankle and definitely after I had my car accident, I was into the Florida water. I have 2 lots of Florida water, by the way. I just picked up this one because it was closest to me. So this is a homemade or handmade Florida water by Earthly Alchemy, and this is a more traditional one. And I've just been going for it. When I first got into the car after my accident, I was really nervous and shaken, and so I came out here and I doused myself in Florida water, and then I put a little High John Conqueror. High John is something that I love to work with. It is something that I'm careful about working with as well, because the High John root is starting to deplete. And so if you ever get your hands on a High John root, use pieces of it, little pieces of it. Don't use the whole root if you can avoid it, because just read up on it. Read up on what I'm talking about, because it's starting to become endangered. So having a High John oil allows me to connect with the High John root in a way that is, I guess it's a lot more long lasting. And the thing about that is, once this oil depletes, the root will still be in there, so I can still create more oil from that. It won't be the exact same blend as was created by Juniper Moon, but I will still be using the energy of the High John root. So High John is a rise above, stand in your power, authority. It's a blessing agent. It protects, it cares for, it allows you to succeed. It is one of those powerhouse, do it all, amazing, amazing botanicals. And so in an oil, you can put this on candles, you can anoint yourself, you can put this on, if you don't have sensitivity, that is, which I don't, you can put it on mojo bags. You can just do so much with it. So much with it. And I love it in oil form. I'm going to give this one a really good shake, because there's quite a bit of sediment in the bottom there. But Juniper Moon has done an incredible job on this High John. I highly recommend it. If you're in Australia and you can't get High John products anywhere else, they are hard to find, then go and check out Juniper Moon and her apothecary, and you'll have a really good time with this. And this is a practitioner size. So when I order things from Juniper Moon, so you can get, this is a, well, actually that's actually a bit bigger than a standard size. So let's say you can get oils and they typically come in this size. And I think they're 15 or 30 mil, don't get me wrong. I think they might be 15 mil, but these ones are much larger, as you can see. You get more bang for your buck, more product. And so if you do go to Juniper Moon, ask her for practitioner sizes and you will get a lot more, because I use a lot of ingredients when I am making and creating my magics, my spells, my consecrations, my cleaning, my magical cleansing stuff. I use a lot. I'm heavy-handed with my products. I need a lot of it. And so since she introduced practitioner sizes, it changed my life. And again, Florida water. Florida water is something that you can make yourself. There are some, excellent recipes out there. I've personally never had a crack at making it. There's something about it. I feel like I'm missing a vital ingredient, and I just have never had a chance to make it, or a want really to make it. But I love experimenting with different types of Florida water, and this one here is one of my favorites. It's rich, it's milky, and it has an aroma to it. I'll put some on right now. It has an aroma to it, and it just leaves such a beautiful, beautiful, scent. And it permeates. It's a scent that kind of, as soon as you release it from the bottle, it kind of hits you and it permeates and it fills the space. And so when I put that type of ingredient on myself, I feel like it is, just all around me, creating kind of like a scent bubble, if you will, which is an energetic visual that I tend to work with, and I love it. So yeah, Florida water and High John. All right, this one is no joke. This spray came in a recent Witch's Roots I unboxed this. There is, I want to do this properly, there is that much left. I use it all of the time, every day, several times a day. This is an elven star, sometimes called a fairy star, but it's an elven star. Very fae themed box. There's the Witch's Roots logo. There is no stone in here. The aroma is so beautiful. My kids love it. I love it. I clean, and when I'm done, I spritz throughout my entire space. That is my mojo. If I want to just shift the energy in my space a little bit and no cleaning is required, you better believe that I'm spraying this. I have gone through it. I've had it for a couple of weeks and I've almost used it all, which is some kind of a record for me, let me just say. And I'm very, very happy with this. So thank you so much, Witch's Moon. This has been such an incredible aromatic product, and it really does shift the energy of the space. It has the sweetest type of aroma, and it just gets into every nook and cranny, and you can really smell, and it lingers as well. Sometimes hydrosols and room sprays, they fill the space with aroma in the moment, and then you walk away and 2 hours later you just can't smell it, whereas this will linger. So points for this one. Extra special points for this one. This next favorite has been on my list of favorites for a while now, and it's still a favorite. This is what is it called? An angel quartz? No, it's not an angel quartz. We'll just call it a quartz sphere in this beautiful netting in a very long chain. I must admit, these long chains are my jam. These long chains are my jam. This can be a pendulum, but I wear it a lot. But it responds really well as a pendulum. There are no intrusive aberrations or drillings or sticky glues affecting the piece itself. And so you have this really beautiful orb and this really nice netting made of silver, 9.25 silver. This is a really solid kind of clasp. Well, it's not really a clasp, it's a loop, a fixed point. And then you have this beautiful, beautiful chain, which is very delicate, which you can shorten with these little loops if you like. So there's these little loops there that you can shorten. There you go. This has been an absolute favorite for me to work with. I've worn this regularly, consistently for a couple of months now, so this is not the first time you'll be seeing it in a favorites, and with any hope it might not be the last either. I love it. This is a beautiful stone to program and work with. It's a beautiful stone to meditate with. It's a great little fidget. So if you get yourself a little bit anxious, moving it around, there's just something so satisfying about it. So it's a great little fidget for, low-level anxiety. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful energy, and it really radiates a very, very nice vibe, especially if you look after it, because crystals are things that you have to consistently work with and on. The energy of a stone can shift very easily depending on the atmosphere and the other energies that you immerse that stone in. So seeing that I wear this regularly, I'm constantly cleansing and I'm constantly recharging and looking after this one quite nicely. So there you have it. Beautiful stone. Highly recommend it. Absolutely beautiful. Yay. All right, I now want to talk about some books, okay? So the first book that I'm going to talk to you about is this one right here. I recently featured this one on my Instagram. This is Honoring Your Ancestors, A Guide to Ancestral Veneration by Mallory Valduzzi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. In May, our Coven have been working with ancestors throughout the month of May. It's Memory May, and one of the activities is to build your ancestral altar, to work with your ancestors at honoring your ancestors, leaving offerings and things of that nature. So that's a big thing for my Coven in the month of May. Now, we had originally read this as part of the book club, as a buddy read, and we all read it together, loved it, and then we did a reread of it throughout the month of May. That was one of our activities, to do a bit of a reread. And this is a solid book for anyone that is looking to dip their toe in the wonderful and very powerful realm of ancestral you know, veneration, of ancestral practices. Working with your ancestors can really, really bring about such a magnificent change in your practice. This book is solid, so it's not really marking a page there. We have Who Are Your Ancestors, and it breaks down, you know, who our ancestors are beyond the basics. Your ancestors are not just your blood ancestors. Then we have here, and I've tabbed both of these, Healing Ancestral Trauma. And this is chapter 2 for a very good reason, because before you can truly begin to work with your ancestors, you need to be able to heal any trauma that may come about. You might connect with an ancestor and get a really angry vibe, really hurt, a really traumatized type of vibe. And there is so much here. Then we go right into building your altar, and the layout of this book is really simple, really easy, and there is just such a nice flow to this, making offerings to your ancestors. This is a really comprehensive chapter, and she covers it really well. The information in here is concise, it is straight to the point, it's descriptive, it's written in a very easy to interpret, easy to understand type of way, and I must say it's necessary for many reasons, to you know, to break things down and make them really simple. And there we go, we've got such a, you know, spiritual hygiene is discussed in here. Mediumship is for everyone. That's a little bit more of a kind of controversial topic, going deeper with mediumship. And so we talk about all the important things, herbal allies for ancestral veneration, and so on and so forth. But make no mistake, when you work with your ancestors, you are practicing a form of spiritism. You are engaging in the arena, we will call it, of, well, mediumship, you know, spirit contact, that type of vibe. It's not, I was going to say it's not for everyone, but it actually is. We interact with spirits on a daily, whether it be the spirits of our food, the spirits of our house, our spirit allies, the spirit guides of other people. Whether you're aware of it or not, you have your own spirit allies, your own spirit family. And when you can acknowledge that, that's a really beautiful thing. And much of that, you know, that spirit activity, that spiritual presence belongs to your ancestors. And ancestors are an incredible thing. You know, in Umbanda, you can inherit the spirits of other family members along with your own spirits. You can inherit their spirits. So you can inherit their Eshus, you can inherit their crianças, their Ere, you can inherit their Orisha, you can inherit from their lines. It's very complex, it's very complicated until it's not, until it's written down in a really simplified fashion. This book does a really great job of breaking down kind of sometimes misunderstood and hard to understand practices, and makes them really easily accessible, simplifies them, makes them very, very friendly and approachable. Gives you really clear, concise information. And I think one of the reasons why I love it is because it does come from a Yoruba base. And, you know, my family's practice is Yoruba in nature. So there we have it, honouring the ancestors. I went deeper into it than I thought that I would. Next we have another book. This is much sweeter, much more simple. This is Flowerpedia, 1000 Flowers and Their Meanings by Sherilyn Darcy. Now, let me show you here. So we have flowers and their meanings. We have this little breakdown here. It's alphabetical, as you can see. So answers within, prayers answered, anticipation, anti-sorcery. Everything is broken down into a really simple list. And then we have the botanical that is associated with that kind of wish, desire, or goal. So violet, blue, and then the Latin name for it. So, you know, attention seeking. We have attitude adjustment, happy attitude, trout lily, and so much in here. It's jam-packed. There's 1,000 meanings, but in the back here is something that I really quite like. So we've got, again, alphabetical. Let me just show you this. Okay, then we have some resources here. Anniversary flowers. So for wedding anniversaries or friendship anniversaries or relationship anniversaries. Then you have flowers for the days of the week, a breakdown, which I think is really sweet. Over here we have flowers for the month, and then it breaks down into traditional Western culture flowers of the month, Chinese flowers of the month, Japanese flowers of the month, Australian flowers of the month, and then we have flowers by zodiac, and then national flowers. And so you go through all the countries are listed there. Really, really good. Scottish clans, states and territories of Australia, American states are here as well. Then Canadian provinces and territories, gods and goddesses and other beings are here. So flowers that correlate. So let's have a look here. Apple is Aphrodite, Apollo, Athena, Diana, Dionysus, Eve, the goddess, Hera, Iduna, Avalon, Venus, and more. So it's a really nice little comprehensive book in that way. Chinese rose numbers, like so sweet. And then a wild list of botanicals. This book was beautifully crafted, put together by Sherilyn Darcy. And Sherilyn is responsible for some of our beautiful Green Witch oracles, the magical herbalism oracles. She is a wealth of knowledge on ethnobotany, organic gardening, permaculture, straight up gardening. She is an artist, a creator, and she has such a mystical, magical knowledge of plants. This one, of course, is a flower guide, flowers and their meanings. And it is wonderful for those of you who don't need the instructional component. For instance, you have some books on botanicals that will tell you what the botanical is, what it is used for, and how you can use it. But this one here is a reference, just a pure reference guide. So if you have a really good grasp on how to make spells and charms and herbal talismans and floor washes and just magic, if you're really well versed in magic, this could be a really great resource for you, because it'll give you a little bit of the language of the actual flower, and then you can determine what to do with that. So it's yeah, it's really quite fun to play around with, and yeah, it's beautifully integratable. So Flowerpedia, 1000 Flowers and Their Meanings by Sherilyn Darcy. Highly recommended, super fave. Loved it. All right, last but by no means least, I have the decks that I have been working with throughout the month of May. So I had a really beautiful at-home journaling session with a friend of mine with the Sacred Creator Oracle. So this is the indie version of the Sacred Creator Oracle. Chris Ann does such a wonderful job. This is a really valuable resource. It's wonderfully made. This is what it looks like. It is such a great deck for creatives, for people who really want to ignite those creative faculties, for people who really want to, you know, just connect with the muse and learn to, you know, tap into that creative force, the flow of creativity, the imagination, that intuitive, imaginative water of, you know, creativity. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. They're all topsy-turvy. We did play around quite a bit with them, and that's a beautiful thing. But this is just a little look at this gorgeous, gorgeous deck. It is such an insightful resource. And honestly, the cards look really simple, but they are actively and beautiful. They are actively and beautiful. They are active and beautiful is what I meant to say. And I've got to say, I have loved working with this deck on and off over the years. I've had this deck for quite some time now. This is an old favorite of mine. Look at that beautiful brushed gold edge. And the resource that is this book is perhaps my favorite. You are going to find journal prompts. You are going to find, you know, their meanings, essential meanings, self-care meaning, create a message. You've got quite a bit there. The element of fire, dive in. A little instruction, a little something for you to pounce on. Sometimes there are journal prompts. Sometimes there is extra information depending on the card, depending on the energy of the card. And she's just done such a great job. This is such a wonderful deck for sitting down and just grabbing your journal and having a play. This is a really playful type of deck. It welcomes that play. It welcomes that kind of creative planning, that mind mapping, that brain dumping kind of energy. And if you really want to like stir the waters of those, you know, that beautiful imagination, that creativity, that drive to create, that manifestation aspect of the self, then work with this deck. It is absolutely superb. Then I have here the Green Witch Tarot by Anne Moira. So I haven't worked with this one for a little while. Wait. This might be all topsy-turvy. This I've had for a while as well. And I just grabbed it the other day, and there's something about this deck. It's not even my favorite type of artwork. We went through that just recently when I was going through the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. Not my favorite type of artwork, but this one is done slightly different, and there is something a little tiny bit more palatable. However, I didn't buy this for the art. I actually bought this on recommendation because I didn't like the art, but I do enjoy the works of Anne Moira. She is, of course, responsible for the Green Witch series of books, and, you know, I think it's the Grimoire of the Green Witch. So she has been in and around the witch community for a very long time, and I was curious to see what she had done. I love the she. And so I wanted to see what she would come up with. And it's very sweet. It's very sweet artwork, but a really, really good deck to work with. It's non-traditional, so some of the names have been changed. The images are still on point, very pagan, very witchy, all very green witch. There is something green and verdant and growing in just about every single image. Anything green. Like, look, we've got the pentacles, we've got the Eight of Pentacles, the card of mastery, and you've got this little plant growing in the background. And, you know, the guidebook is a really good resource on everything going on in each of the cards. So look at the beautiful backing. This is a really fun deck to work with. It's not really deep and musing. It's not one of those decks, but it's very straightforward. It's very whimsical. It's fun. It's concise. It has a clear voice, and it is a clear reader. My kids also like this deck, so I can read for my kids with this deck. The artwork is, you know, it's friendly to them. Then, my loves, I fell down the Lenormand rabbit hole, and I am getting through Rana George's Essential Guide to Lenormand on Kindle, and I've ordered the hard copy because I decided that I was loving the book so much that I needed the hard copy, because I like to get in and tab, and I like to just do things with hard copy books when I'm learning. So here we have, this is the Pixies Astounding Lenormand, and it comes with this gorgeous little tiny minute book. It's so cute. And you all recognize the rose, the Rider-Waite-Smith rose. So this is Pixie's artwork. So it's done in Rider-Waite-Smith style, and it is a Lenormand deck. So this is a very easy, simple style of Lenormand deck as well. There is no kind of ambiguity. None of the images have changed. None of the symbols themselves have changed. And I recently received a surprise Lenormand deck, and some of the symbolism had changed. Some of the names of the cards had changed. And for someone who's learning, I was like, what? What is this? Didn't take me long to get there, but there's still one that I don't quite understand. I might talk about that one in my June favorites, actually. So really straightforward, really simple. I've been pulling cards regularly every single day. This one actually sits on my dining room table. My son was playing with this one this morning while we were reading. We got the Child and the Mountain. It's very direct and very literal. My daughter is actually going up the mountain today. She's going on an excursion into the city. And today is also handover day for my children, so they'll go back to their father today, and they always find that to be a challenge. They find that to be a sensitive, kind of difficult day. Anyway, so I thought that was really poignant because they got Child and Mountain today. Oh, so lovely. And I'm really enjoying Lenormand. For those of you who are tarot readers who also have kind of started to shift and explore Lenormand just on the light, you understand what I mean when I say it's really hard to look at the Tower. There are some cards in here that are really hard for a tarot reader to look at because we have such embedded understanding, belief in the symbolism of the Tower in the tarot, and then when I see it here in the Lenormand deck and it means something totally different, I'm like, it's difficult to reconcile that for me. But it's also very, very good to breathe in some flexibility in my divination style and my cartomancy style. So really loving working with the Pixies Lenormand. It's not my favorite deck. I'm actually not a huge fan of the the Rider-Waite-Smith style of artwork, but respect must be paid. And this is my way of paying that respect. I'm so accustomed and used to seeing, the Rider-Waite-Smith or Pixies artwork in Rider decks. And, it just feels really comforting and normal and accessible. So I went for it. I bought it over Christmas time. It's made by US Game System, comes in this little tin. I dropped it. Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but yeah, really fun. I have other Lenormand decks, believe it or not. I've been stocking up on Lenormand decks over the years, but have never really gotten into Lenormand per se, just played around with it. But now I'm dedicating time, energy, apparently also resources to the study of Lenormand, so let's see where that goes. And then the last deck that I'm going to show you is the Tarot of Delphi by J.D. Hildegard Hinkle, created and curated by. So I want to show you this because this is a curated deck, original artwork of these particular artists. So I feel like, hang on, who have we got? We have John William Waterhouse. We have William Blake Richmond, Henrietta Ray, Lawrence Alma Tadema, Wright Barker, John Collier, Edith Ridley Cobert. That is the style that we have here. Kind of, I want to say pre-Raphaelite, but I'm not sure about all of them. Anyway, little resource, simple, easy little resource, comes with this guidebook, Halo Publishing, Buffalo. And here it is. This deck is high gloss, good sturdy cardstock, beautiful, absolutely freaking beautiful. I am a lover of this style of art. Pre-Raphaelite, Baroque. Oh, I just think it is so beautiful. And I fall into it. Look, Enchantress of Wands, isn't she stunning? Isn't she stunning? I just fall into this deck and the beauty of it. And the artwork, oh my God, look. Gladiator. Oh, if you're a fan of art, you would recognize some of these images. Look at that. This deck does deserve like a full flip through. I don't think I've ever done a full flip through of this deck, but I think it is absolutely beautiful. During May, I tend to connect with all things Taurus, all things decadent, rich, deep. This deck had to come out at that particular time of the year because let's face it, it's Taurus time. I want to find the Enchantress. I'm just going to do the biggest, quickest flick through. I know. I'll do a proper flip through if you want. So drop a comment, drop it down in the comments. Do you want a full up close flip through of this deck? Oh, Justice, one of my favorites. Oh, look. The High Priestess, one of my favorites. Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. So absolutely beautiful deck. Love to work with it. I'm really gentle with this deck actually because it's precious to me. And working with this deck, I actually brought it down to work with as May was approaching, as winter was approaching. I shifted things around in my space and I changed up some of the decks that I was working with, and some of the ones that I had down here I took up to my cottage. This was before I broke my ankle. And yeah, I bought this one down because I was like, yes, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to work with you this winter. And it's been really fun working with it. But I also now that I've started playing around with this, I want my Da Vinci. I feel like working with my Da Vinci tarot suddenly. And so that's exactly what I plan on doing the moment that I can get up to my cottage or ask my sister to bring it down. I just know that I don't want just one deck to work with, and I want to go up there, but I can't because the landscape is really rugged. There's all these jagged rocks, and with my ankle the way that it is, I just can't do it. So all of my deck collection, bar maybe the 40 decks that I have down here, which may seem like a lot to some, but most of them are oracle decks that I've recently purchased or affirmation cards that I've recently purchased. I don't actually have that much tarot, maybe only 20 tarot decks down here or 15 tarot decks, who knows. But I really want to bring down more decks and rotate, take some of these oracle and affirmation ones down and then bring new decks down. That's how I like to typically work it. But this is what I've got down here. So this is what I've been working with down here. And that wraps up my favorites for the month of May. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know which one was your favorite. What did you like? What are you interested in? What was something that you loved in the month of May? And thank you so much for watching, folks. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it around, leave a comment below because I love chatting with you. And if you want to support this channel any further, please check out my Patreon. That is where you can give the most amount of support to my creative endeavors. I appreciate you. Thank you to all of my patrons. I so love and adore you. I appreciate you. And thank you for all your help and support. And to you who are watching this video, thank you so much for being here. Much love to you and many blessings. Take care.